This decision validates that the power of the president is not boundless. Trump is not king.
A federal judge rules President Trump willfully broke the law with his deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles. Tonight, though, the president is downplaying the legal setback.
The judge said that you could leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay, they can remain, they can do what they have.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Despite that ruling today from a federal judge, the Trump administration is making plans tonight to send troops into more cities across the country. Today, that federal judge in San Francisco ruled the Trump administration violated a 19th century law when it deployed 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines to Los Angeles back in June. The service members were sent to L.A. in response to immigration enforcement protests. California's Attorney General believes this was a testing ground for the president. As the White House points out, there are caveats in the ruling.
Southern California was round one. We're seeing what he's doing now in Washington, D.C. We heard his threats to Oakland and Chicago and New York. I hope today's decision makes him think twice.
The judge said that you could leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay, they can remain, they can do what they have to do.
Legal scholars say Judge Breyer's ruling could complicate the president's plans to send troops to other American cities.
If and when federal troops get called into Chicago, then without a doubt, when Governor Pritzker's lawyers move in federal court in the Northern District of Illinois, you can bet that they are going to be cutting and pasting from Judge Breyer's opinion.
And I am thrilled to report that.
And today, the president confirmed he is planning to send troops to Chicago in order to address crime in that city. Well, home improvement giant Home Depot is facing accusations tonight of being complicit in ongoing immigration raids. People have been posting images of raids happening outside of stores across California to the Citizen app for weeks now. Tonight, Fox 11's Nick Garcia reports there are calls to prevent the retailer's expansion plans.
This summer, we have seen several ICE raids take place at Home Depot locations across Los Angeles. Just last week, an ICE operation led to 8 arrests at the Home Depot in the Westlake area, a location that has been hit several times.
We believe that the Home Depot is completely complicit with these raids happening all throughout the LA area. And so we believe that the Home Depot poses a health risk to our community.
Ron Goches, member of community activist group Union del Barrio, says Home Depot's lack of response to the ongoing ICE raids makes them complicit through silence. Goches opposes the proposed Eagle Rock location and any expansions by the company in LA.
We're calling on all Home Depots, if they're not going to be able to protect the people, the customers, and the workers there, then they shouldn't even be open anywhere in Los Angeles.
LA City Council member Isabel Jurado posted this on Instagram, saying in part, quote, Home Depot has chosen power and profit over the working people who sustain it. This is why I unequivocally oppose Home Depot coming to Eagle Rock Plaza. The Home Depot sent Fox 11 a statement saying, quote, we aren't notified that ICE activities are going to happen, and we're not requesting them. In many cases, we don't know that arrests have taken place until after they're over.
But they're taking people who are working. That's crazy.
Those who oppose the ICE raids say that's not good enough.
They, as a corporation, have the responsibility to protect their customers, to protect everyone on their property. And they are not doing that. And therefore, there shouldn't be a new Home Depot anywhere near the LA area.
And that was Fox 11's Nick Garcia reporting tonight. Federal agents detained more than a dozen people at one of those raids outside the Westlake Home Depot last month. Video posted to social media shows law enforcement clashing with protesters in Portland late last night. The protesters were demonstrating outside an ICE facility when authorities launched tear gas into the crowd. This has happened several times at this location since President Trump's immigration enforcement crackdown. There's no word tonight on any arrests that may have been made last night. A protest last month at that same ICE facility in Portland has resulted in a lawsuit by a veteran against the Department of Homeland Security. The plaintiff, Darren Herzberg, says this video shows the moment a federal agent tackled him from behind back on August 13th. Herzberg said he was then taken into custody, cited for failure to comply, and then released. He says he was tackled again a few days later where he says his head was slammed into the ground, and he still says he experiences pain.
Ear to here is still aching. I get sharp pains every time I lay on my left or right side. I can't get sleep very well.
A DHS spokesperson says the person in the video is, quote, well known for acts of violence outside the ICE facility in Portland, including throwing rocks and other objects at the building and personnel. Herzberg denies those claims and is seeking $150,000 in damages. We turn now to a developing story in Northern California we're following. Lightning strikes have sparked several wildfires in Tuolumne County. Cal Fire crews say the TCU September Lightning Complex fire is comprised of at least 9 fires. The fire is at least 5,500 acres in size, and a number of buildings have been burned. Evacuation orders are in effect tonight in several communities, including Keystone and Chinese Camp. California's latest round of storms brought a mix of lightning, wind, and rain. This morning, cameras captured images of strong wind gusts whipping trees in Beaumont, east of Riverside. Another camera set up in Palm Springs shows drivers facing wet roads today. Lightning was the big issue in the Bay Area overnight. You see all of those strikes in that video. Firefighters say they were quick to jump on some small fires that started after lightning strikes in that area.
Some of these were dry strikes, and some of them were accompanied by rain or rain shortly thereafter. And then the largest fire that we responded to with CAL FIRE was about a half an acre, and we were able to contain that to the area of origin. And again, that was triggered by a lightning strike that hit the ground.
Firefighters say they understand they will need to monitor those areas that were hit by lightning for several days.
One of the things about lightning-caused fires is that they will smolder many times. So figure lightning striking a tree at 2,000 or 3,000 degrees, it splits the tree, but a fire is just smoldering on the inside. So 3 or 4 days later, when the wind kicks up, that's when the fire will really begin.
Severe weather cleanup is underway in some parts of Arizona tonight. Monsoon storms moved through the Phoenix area last night, knocking down power lines in many places. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Rosemary Orozco, who says that more storms in this area are possible tonight.
Yes, Alex, that monsoonal moisture from areas near Arizona through California and north. We've got thunderstorms, the risk, and that is providing flash flooding in some areas, red flag warnings in others. Here's a look over Phoenix this afternoon, 109 degrees. So it's moist and it's hot, and that is triggering heat advisories for some as well. The high parked over Utah and the circulation around it helping to drive that monsoonal moisture through the desert southwest and into California today. And as I remove the satellite and radar, you can see all those lightning strikes. According to the National Weather Service, 4,500 to 5,000 lightning strikes with this event. And as we just saw, quite a bit of fire as a result. Here's a live look over Tuolumne County where the sun is beginning to set, and we've got plenty of cloud and smoke there in the sky with air quality. Obviously an issue in this area. Several fires, close to a dozen reported in areas near Tuolumne County as a result. And it is hot out there, 95 degrees still at this hour, and the winds are anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour, and it is dry. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Bay Area had a few lightning strikes pull through early this morning on the southern edge and the east edge of the bay. Here's a view over San Francisco, mostly clear skies this afternoon and 73 degrees. So where are those advisories? As we shift to the north, the red flag warning for parts of northern California continuing until early tomorrow morning. It does stretch into Oregon as well, where the unsettled weather and the possibility of dry lightning here into tomorrow night. And then as we shift over towards areas near Washington, I'll step out of the way. Heat advisory here, Southern California dealing with the heat advisory until tomorrow night because it's just so warm and moist as a result of that monsoonal moisture. And then you go to the other side, part of the state here on the inner east edge, and there's a flood watch due to the monsoonal moisture. Now, the good news is it is expected to begin to pull out of California tomorrow, and California will be left with dry conditions for the days ahead and cooling conditions as well. Tomorrow, Los Angeles, 89 degrees. Low 80s expected by Friday. Meanwhile, the Bay Area also seeing a drop in temperatures in the days ahead. Phoenix, 104 in the afternoon tomorrow, mostly dry. There will be a slight chance for thunderstorms on Thursday, a better chance on Friday. Alex?
Okay, Rosemary, thank you. We turn now to Phoenix, where 2 police officers were injured in a shooting earlier today. SWAT officers were serving a warrant near the downtown area. Investigators say those officers knocked on the door of an apartment and someone inside opened fire as that door opened. The 2 officers were wounded, but it's unclear if they were shot or hit by shrapnel. The officers then fired back, hitting one person inside the apartment. That person has life-threatening injuries.
That call that an officer's been injured, it's personal. I feel responsible for all the men and women out here doing this job. They do a very dangerous job every day, day in, day out. I'm happy to say that I was able to go over to the hospital before I came here to the scene. Both officers are doing good, and we're hoping for speedy recoveries.
Authorities did not say what kind of warrant the SWAT officers were serving. The other people inside the apartment were also detained as well. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, we are looking ahead to a football game that will help 2 communities devastated by wildfires.
Something to just be excited about, and I think it helps you feel good about your community.
I think this is a really powerful example of what humanity should be like.
Coming up tonight, players on 2 high school football teams find themselves at the center of a mission to help their communities heal. Also, we'll show you how suspected shoplifters used a chemical spray to fight off the employees and others who were trying to confront them. Also, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle promised to fight the president's plan to move U.S. Space Command out of the West.
I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City.
That announcement from President Trump today dealing a major blow to Colorado. The president's plan to relocate U.S. Space Command from Colorado to Alabama already is facing some pushback tonight. A move would likely have significant economic implications for the Colorado Springs area. Right now, U.S. Space Command is located at Peterson Space Force Base, which is just east of Colorado Springs. The president spoke today about how a move to Alabama could create jobs in the South.
This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. And most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it.
Colorado's full bipartisan congressional delegation issued a statement after the president's announcement today, and it said in part, quote, "We are united in fighting to reverse this decision. Bottom line, moving Space Command headquarters weakens our national security at the worst possible time. Moving Space Command sets our space defense apparatus back years, wastes billions of taxpayer dollars, and hands the advantage to the converging threats of China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea." The statement goes on with the Department of Defense Inspector General's office has reported multiple times that moving the command will impede our military's operational capability for years. Police in Vacaville are searching tonight for 2 suspected thieves who sprayed a supermarket employee with a chemical irritant after they were confronted by that worker for stealing items from the store. This all unfolded on Saturday. You can see one of those suspected thieves running toward their car as the other sprayed the worker who followed them. Police say an employee recognized the pair because of past thefts, and one of them was wearing an ankle monitor at the time. We turn now to one of next year's most anticipated football matchups. It's not the NFL or college, it's a high school game, and the final score won't matter. What will matter is 2 communities devastated by wildfires will rise up and find faith and hope in a game. KTVU's Greg Lee reports tonight the high school teams from Paradise, California and Lahaina, Hawaii will begin a tradition that proves resilience can overcome any disaster.
Football brought people together and gave the town of Paradise hope amid devastation. In August 2019, the Bobcats took the field for the first time since the campfire decimated their town, killed 86 people and displaced thousands just 9 months earlier.
The fire was 3 days before our first playoff game, okay? And the homes were burned down. Probably, I would guess, 80% of the kids didn't have a home. And so we had to drop out of football then.
Paradise continues to rebuild, the community rising from the ashes, but the painful memories of the wildfire linger. Paradise survivors watched in horror as flames ripped through the historic town of Lahaina, Hawaii on the island of Maui in August 2023.
It looked very similar, some of those aerial shots. I think that was probably the hardest part.
Wind-driven flames killed 101 people and leveled Lahaina. More than 2,200 structures damaged or destroyed.
The first couple weeks was just trying to track everyone down, make sure they're alive.
Football was the furthest thing from Lahaina Luna High School athletic director Jonathan Conrad's mind. Though the school was still standing, it sustained damage and so many families had lost everything.
Everybody was displaced and living in hotels, or 3-4 families in one house, pitching tents in yards, living in garages, doing what they had to do to survive.
Slowly, amid the devastation, and like in Paradise, the community rallied behind the high school football team and the hope that a game could provide.
We could actually have a team, we could actually play, and then that really kind of was the catalyst to giving the community some excitement, some positive distraction in horrific times.
One of the first things I noticed is the student body and administration here are thinking, what can we do?
Driven by deep empathy and understanding of what Lahaina was experiencing, the team at Paradise High School began to brainstorm ways to help from thousands of miles away.
Being a sports person, I thought, what if we play them in a game?
Paradise Athletic Director Jerry Cleek reached out to Lahaina Luna High School months after the Maui fires and began a conversation that spanned more than a year. Then recently, it was decided the Paradise Bobcats will travel to face the Lahaina Luna Lunas in Maui in September 2026, a game that will transcend sports.
Gives them something to look forward to, something to just be excited about. And I think it helps you feel good about your community. I don't know why, but sports and especially football in some communities like Paradise can really have an influence on a lot of people.
I think they can help us way more than we can help them, which is a big testimonial to them in wanting to do this, because we're still in the thick of it, right? So, and we are going to be for years.
The Paradise teams started to fundraise for the trip to the island. The plan is for their players to stay with Lahaina Luna players to build relationships and share experiences.
They're only 2 years out. We're now 7. And we want to inspire and help however we can to show them that they can rebuild and be stronger than before.
Just by unity, I think this is a really powerful example of what humanity should be like.
Organizers say ideally this would become a bowl where the two fire-ravaged communities come together annually to share a field and an unbreakable bond, a bond forged by fire and reinforced by resilience. Greg Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Boy, that game is going to be something to see. As we said, Paradise High School has started fundraising to help fund this incredible trip to Hawaii next year. They've started a GoFundMe page asking people to help, and they are hopeful the continued generosity of the community will get them to their goal. Up next tonight here on West Coast Wrap, scientists giving AI some credit for helping to save wildlife here in the West.
And so the acoustic model and the AI system helps us sort through this really mixture of sounds.
Yay! Coming up tonight, how the effort to save a rare frog is turning into an international event. Also, see how a Nevada community helps a World War II nurse celebrate an important milestone.
I just thank you all for coming and being involved with this with me today.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is spewing more lava tonight. This marks the volcano's 32nd episode since December. Scientists believe the episodes are part of the same eruption due to magma following the same pathway to the surface. Right now, lava is contained within the summit crater, and it's not threatening homes or any other buildings in that area. Silicon Valley-based Google is working to put Gmail users at ease when it comes to security. The company claims it issued a warning to all Gmail users about a major security issue are, quote, entirely false. The company posted to a blog yesterday saying Gmail's security protections are strong and effective. It also suggested customers take steps to protect their accounts with the use of strong passwords and secure password alternatives like passkeys. Conservationists are working in Southern California to reestablish a nearly vanished species of frog. Scientists from the San Diego Natural History Museum concentrated their efforts right along the U.S.-Mexico border. They're trying to restore the red-legged frog in its historical Southern California habitat. The scientists took frog eggs from a small population in Mexico and introduced them into American ponds.
We've been translocating eggs from this population across the international border into Southern California and reestablishing California's largest native frog back into areas that have blinked out and are no longer populated by the frog.
Red-legged frogs are the largest native frogs here in the West and previously had large populations along the California coast. They are believed to be the star of Mark Twain's 1865 short story, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. Finally tonight, a Nevada woman who worked as a nurse during World War II says she's surprised to see her entire church community help her celebrate a milestone birthday. Yesterday, a crowd gathered in Henderson, just outside Las Vegas, to wish Lorraine DeMarest a happy 100th birthday. At 17 years old, DeMarest became one of more than 100,000 women who formed part of the U.S. Cadet Nurse Corps. The program supported healthcare students around the country as professional nurses served abroad. Yesterday, loved ones and veterans groups wished her happy birthday with cards, certificates, a medallion, and a framed poster.
I think it was wonderful, and I was very surprised, in case you were wondering about that. I had no inkling of where we would go. And I just thank you all for coming and being on board of this with me today.
Quite the celebration. An advocate with the Women Veterans of Nevada organization says nurses in DeMarest's program are not officially classified as veterans. Still, they're recognized for their contributions to the war effort, and we appreciate her service. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as well. And before we head out, a quick reminder, stay up to date on all the stories we're covering across the West at our website. That is westcoastwrap.com. And you can stream our shows for free on your smart TV. Just download that free Fox Local app. Have a great night.